In today's video, we are here to talk about this new crop of designer vanilla fragrances. If you're interested, then just keep watching. Hi, my name is Ayesha from simplyayesha.com. Here on YouTube, I make videos about fragrance, beauty, luxury, and lifestyle. If those are things you're interested in, please consider subscribing. And if you are a returning subscriber, hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. So as I said, in today's video, we will be talking about this new crop of designer vanilla fragrances. So I feel like 2023 is definitely the year of the vanilla. We have been getting a ton of new fragrance releases and a lot of vanillas, especially during this season. And I wanted to talk about these new crop of designer vanillas, as I've been calling them, because I feel like these designer vanillas that have recently come out are actually more gourmand vanilla types. And I feel like previously, most of the fragrances we got from the designer realm, meaning just regular designer, I'm not talking about any luxury designer collections like say Tom Ford or any of the Privé lines of the designer lines. I'm talking about the regular designer fragrances that you can pretty much go to any department store and get. In those type of fragrances, we really didn't see many like true gourmand vanillas. So I have 4 fragrances I'll be talking about today. We will be battling these fragrances. All of these are gourmand-ish, and we will talk more about that as we talk about the fragrances. But I felt like this would be a good video to do because I personally was intrigued by them, and I'm sure a lot of you all are too. So as I said, this will be a battle video, meaning that I have ranked all of these fragrances in certain categories. So what we will do is initially I will give you a brief review of each of the 4 fragrances, and then I'll go through the ranking process. And then at the end, I'll tell you guys which ones are my favorite, like my personal ranking, and I'll also give you the numerical statistical ranking. It sounds confusing, but I promise it's not. I have done some other videos like this, so I will also link my playlist of these battle type videos, but it's been a while, so I'm excited to go ahead and battle these fragrances out. So let's go ahead and get into the fragrances. So I'm going in order of oldest release to newest release. So the first fragrance that I have for you is YSL Black Opium Le Parfum. So this fragrance was actually released last year, and I kind of think it may have sparked these other fragrances to come out. I don't know, but I kind of feel like it did. Anyway, I've only had this fragrance for a couple months, and this is a flanker of the infamous Black Opium, which is a coffee caramel, white floral, sweet type of scent. This one is the Le Parfum version, and this one has that same YSL Black Opium DNA, but adds a ton of vanilla to this fragrance. So you still get that kind of caramel coffee type of background, but vanilla is definitely the front runner of this fragrance. And the vanilla that's in here smells like bourbon vanilla. It's a really good vanilla. To me, it smells different than a lot of designer fragrances because it has this deep, very prominent gourmand vanilla. It has a bit of spice to it, but overall, I feel like it's sweet and it's edible. This is one that I definitely feel like still kind of has that perfume element to it. So although I classify this as a gourmand, this one doesn't smell 100% edible. And so I feel like it would be an easy wear for a lot of you all. So again, that is Black Opium Le Parfum from YSL. The next fragrance I have is from Burberry, and this is Burberry Goddess. So this one is one that when it came out, I saw that it had vanilla and lavender in it, and I thought it was just another take on Mon Guerlain or YSL Libre. And when I smelled it, I was happily surprised because this one does have definitely a more gourmand vanilla than those other 2 fragrances that I named. So this one to me smells like a sweet vanilla, but it's a light, airy, fluffy vanilla. It also has a tiny bit of lavender, but the lavender just really kind of breaks up the scent, and it doesn't really stand out. Like, it's there, and I feel like it provides this calming nature to this fragrance, but it doesn't stand out. It really is well blended. Overall, the experience that I get from this is just like an air of sweet vanilla goodness with a little bit of something different in it. I also can pick up something that smells a little bit green in this vanilla, but not too much. Overall, it doesn't take away from the gourmand nature. And again, this is another one that smells gourmand to me, but not 100% edible. So it still has that perfumey touch, but not like too much. It's really delicious smelling without wanting to like eat yourself. I find this one to be easy to wear, especially in warm weather because it's light and airy, but I definitely think it could work in the colder months. You may just have to layer it up to kind of make it stand up to the cold. But if you live in an area like me, this is a good way to get your vanilla goodness in without it being too heavy. So again, that is Burberry Goddess. The next fragrance I have is from Dolce & Gabbana, and this is Devotion. So this fragrance is definitely the most gourmand vanilla out of this lineup. To me, when I smell this fragrance initially, it opens up with these citruses and it smells like lemon and orange. However, there's a sweetness to it. So although you kind of get that bright citrus, it's like candied lemon or candied orange. And overall, it just is sweet. It's sweet and good. In the background, you do have this gourmand vanilla. And as the fragrance kind of dries down, more of that vanilla comes out to play. And I feel like the orange really steps it up as well. Or maybe it's orange blossom. But to me, the vibe that I get from it is like a lemony orange cookie, pastry type scent. It reminds me of Xerjoff Lyra. They're not the same, but it does remind me of Xerjoff Lyra. But I find this one to be brighter, more candy-like. And I feel like Lyra has this caramel tone to it that this one doesn't have as much to me. Again, a very beautiful vanilla, perfect for year-round use, I think. But I think in the winter, you probably will have to layer this to get it to stand up for really cold weather. But again, if you live in a climate like me, I think this will work year-round and it's very yummy. So again, that is Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. And then this last fragrance is from Valentino, and this is Donna Born in Roma Pink PP. There's a lot going on with this name. The PP stands for something. I don't remember what it is, but when I initially saw this fragrance, I did read about it, but I don't remember. So if you're interested in finding that out, maybe I'll try to leave it in the description box, but it's too much. It's too much going on with the name of this fragrance. Anyway, this fragrance is one of the many flankers of Valentino Donna Born in Roma, which is also a flanker of Valentino Donna. So, I mean, come up with some new names, Valentino, please. Anyway, this is, I think, the only Valentino Donna Born in Roma that works for me. I'm happy to say I was scared to order this. This was a blind buy for me. My local Sephora didn't have it and I got it for a good price. So I went ahead and ordered it, took that risk. And I knew I wanted to talk about it with you all. So when I got it, I was pleasantly surprised because Valentino Donna Born in Roma to me is like a bourbon vanilla mixed with white florals, but to me the white florals really take over that fragrance and that fragrance gives me a headache. And I've tried it so many times, but it just doesn't work for me. This one definitely still has that Born in Roma DNA. However, the vanilla in here is sweet and edible. It still kind of smells like a bourbon vanilla, but it's definitely more sweet, more edible smelling. And the florals that are in here, they are way deep in the background. So for me, this smells like a straight out vanilla with a little bit of floral facet to it. Whereas the other one I classify as more of a floral with some vanilla. Hopefully that makes sense. But this smells really good. It's again on the lighter side. It is an airier type vanilla. I think this would actually work well year round, but again, in the winter, if you want to wear this, you will probably need to layer it to make it stand up. Overall, I think it's a really pretty scent and I'm happy that I found a Born in Roma to finally work for me. So now that I've given you an overview of the 4 fragrances we're talking about, we're gonna go through each category. And for each category, I rank these fragrances. I'm not gonna give you the full ranking for each fragrance. I will just give you the number 1 and the number 4 position. So the winner and loser of each category. The first category is packaging. And I have to say, I actually really like the packaging of all of these fragrances. So this is going to be quite subjective, but the one that I put in 4th place, so last place, is YSL Black Opium Le Parfum. And And the reason this is in 4th place for me is, yes, I do like the bottle. However, Black Opium has been out forever. This looks very similar to the original. The only difference I think is that this one is like an opaque black, if I remember correctly. So I just feel like they could have done something a little bit different. I mean, I know it's a flanker and they should kind of look the same, but come on, YSL. I'm kind of tired of this bottle design because it's been out for so long. So although it's beautiful, it's nicely done, I'm ready for something different from Black Opium or from YSL in general. And then for the number 1 spot, as far as packaging goes, is Valentino Born in Roma Pink PP. Okay, that's a lot. So this is a very subjective category, and I kind of got on Black Opium for doing the same bottles, but Valentino does the same thing as well, right? However, I feel like these little studded bottles are just really Valentino's signature, like as far as with their clothes, with their shoes. They do a lot of this stud thing, and so I feel like it works for them, and I love the pink, y'all. I can't lie. I'm a pink girly girl. I love the pink, and so that's why I got number 1 for me. All of the categories here are not extremely subjective like this one. I do realize the packaging thing is extremely subjective, so I did want to share this with y'all, but you know, you may have a different favorite. Another thing before we move on to the next category that I wanted to mention is the Burberry Goddess packaging is actually refillable. So that is something to take note of if you are interested in this fragrance. The next category is the unique factor. How unique are these fragrances? So for this category, I had a hard time ranking them. And so I ended up with a tie. So in bottom place, 3rd and 4th place are both of these. So Black Opium Le Parfum and Pink PP. And the reason that these are the least unique in my opinion is because they are both flankers. And they are flankers of something that has been flankered to death, okay? But although these are flankers, these are actually my favorite flankers out of these respective lines. So take that as you will, but that's why they're at the bottom, is because they are flankers and they kind of still have their original DNA of the original fragrance that they are flankering. And because those two were a tie, and I feel like the unique factor is really important, I'm going to give you all my rankings for this particular category. So in the number 2 spot, I have Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. And the reason why it's not number 1 is because I do feel like it is very unique in the designer world. So if you're just comparing it to designer fragrances, I feel like this one is the most unique. However, I have a ton of like lemony, orangey, gourmands in my fragrance collection. And so for me, I don't feel like it's super unique when you compare it to niche fragrances, and there's a lot of niche fragrances in this category now. So I still think it's unique and I still think it's great for designer world, but that's why it's number 2 and not number 1. Number 1, I have Burberry Goddess because I just find this to be a different take on vanilla. And although it's not a super strong scent, I do feel like it stands out in my collection. It doesn't smell exactly like anything else I have in my collection, and I think they did a great job of making this a sweet gourmand vanilla, but make it airy and add a little bit of that lavender in it, and it doesn't smell like any other like lavender vanilla combination fragrance that I have. The next category I have is performance, and when I speak of performance, I'm talking about longevity and projection. So in last place, I have Valentino Pink PP. This one is one that I found myself having to respray. It lasted on my skin probably about like 4 hours, 4 to 5 hours, but I feel like it became a skin scent around that like 3-hour mark. And I felt like I wanted to continue to respray this because I love the way it smelled, but I was having a hard time smelling it on myself. And the number 1 spot is Black Opium Le Parfum. To me, this one lasted the longest. It projected the most. It's actually the deepest out of all of these fragrances. And I would say as far as performance, I probably got around like 7 to 8 hours out of this fragrance, and I was able to smell it for most of the time I was wearing it. The next category I have is Versatility, and in 4th place I have Dolce & Gabbana Devotion. And the reason that I ranked this one last is because it is the most gourmand, it is the most sweet out of these, and so I think that I kind of have to be in a special mood to wear this. Now, I'm a gourmand lover, but this is not the type of fragrance that I would want to wear somewhere serious. So like, I wouldn't wear this on a date. I would maybe wear it out with friends, like for lunch or whatever. I just don't really reach for these super sweet scents for all types of occasions. I also think that for people that are not really into edible gourmands, that's gonna limit like who will like this fragrance. And then I also don't really feel like it's going to be heavy enough for winter time for most of you. It probably will be for me, but again, it kind of gives me summer vibes, although it is a vanilla fragrance. Number one, as far as versatility, is Black Opium Le Parfum, because again, this is the deepest out of these fragrances. And so I think this one is going to have no problem holding up in the winter, especially if you overspray it. I also find that this is not too heavy for when it's warm, because although we're in fall now, right now, I think it's over 80 degrees. Yes, it's over 80 degrees today. And I don't find this to be too heavy or too cloying in the hot weather for me anyway. So I feel like you can wear this when you're around. I would actually wear this on a date if I wanted to. I personally probably won't, because I spent so many years with regular Black Opium that I don't really wear it on dates anymore. I used to always wear the original Black Opium on dates. So now Black Opium, any of the flankers are generally like in the house scents for me, or like running errands scents for me, those type of scents. But I definitely could dress this one up if I felt the need to. And then the last category I have is price. And for this category, I looked at all the bottle sizes and decided to compare the 100 ml size of each of these. However, some of the bottles were not exactly 100 mLs. And I just want to say designer prices have really gone up. So for this category, again, I will tell you all the prices. Fourth place, like the worst price one, is Le Parfum. This one retails for $179 for a 90 ml bottle. When I did my math, if this was a 100 ml bottle, it would be $198. Third place is Burberry Goddess. This one retails for $168 for a 100 ml bottle, but keep in mind, this bottle is refillable, so you'll be able to purchase refills for this fragrance in the future if you were to run through it, and those are less. Second place is Pink PP. This one retails for $156 for a 100 ml bottle. And first place is Devotion. This one retails for $148 for a 98 ml bottle. Now, I'm not sure why they did 98 mls instead of 100, but that's what they did, maybe because of this gorgeous packaging. But if I were to translate that to a 100 ml bottle, I think it came up to about $151 if this was a 100 ml bottle, and so it's still the least expensive. So those were the categories. Next, I'll share with you the numerical ranking based on all four of those categories. So in fourth place, we have Le Parfum. Third place, we have Pink PP. Second place, we have Devotion. And first place, we have Goddess. And then I'm going to share with you all my ranking and in my order of preference. And the reason that this is different from the numerical ranking is because I feel like, for me personally, I put more weight on certain things. So for instance, like smell and all that is probably more important than performance for me personally. So my personal ranking, fourth place is Devotion. And I know this one is probably the most popular. This is probably going to be the one that a lot of you all love. But in my personal collection, I just feel like I probably didn't need it. I'm glad I got the small bottle. It is beautiful. But I have so many of these lemony vanillas that I just feel like I probably didn't need this. However, I got it on a great deal, so no regrets. But in my personal collection, it's just not super unique. Third place, I have Pink PP. And this is third place because I do really love the scent of this. I'm really happy to have a Donna Born in Roma that works for me, and I really love the bottle of this. However, the performance is really lacking to me, and I'm hoping that as this sits in my collection, maybe it will get a little bit stronger over time, but I felt like I just had to reapply this too much. Second place is Black Opium Le Parfum, and I think this is a gorgeous scent. It's versatile, it's fun, but it also has enough seriousness to it that I could actually wear it out of my house and still feel really put together. And again, I think it's a nice take on this Black Opium franchise. And then first place for me is Goddess. And that's because I feel like it's the most unique out of these. It's the most unique in my particular collection. It's the easiest to wear. I think I could throw this in a bag, take it with me on vacation, and wear it every single day and not get tired of it. The smell really resonates with me. And although it's not strong, I feel like it's strong enough. Like, I smell it on myself. I don't feel like I need to constantly reapply it. And I think it's just really well done. Plus, I like the fact that it's a refillable bottle. Not that I ever go through bottles, but I like the idea that if I were to go through it, I could just refill this bottle and pay a little bit less. So that was my battle of the new designer vanillas. Let me know if you've tried any of these fragrances. Are they on your radar? Did I maybe pique your interest in some of these? Let us know in the comments down below. Also, if you have smelled all of these fragrances or have all these fragrances, let us know your ranking down below, because we're all entitled to our opinion, and I know some of y'all probably have the opposite opinion from me, and that's okay. Let's all share. If you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel. Also, check out my playlist of my previous battle videos. I will link it down below in the description box. Also, check out my website. It's www.simplyayesha.com. Head over there, get on my email list so that we can stay in touch that way as well. If you want to connect me more, follow me over on Instagram. I'm typically in my stories and my DMs pretty much every day. I love to chat with y'all. I also have a TikTok now. That'll be listed in the description box as well. So follow me over there. I'm trying to get the hang of TikTok, and I would love for some of y'all to join me. I hope you all enjoyed this video as much as I enjoyed making it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in my next one. Bye.